Miyamoto Musashi wrote something blunt in his Dokodo, often printed alongside his Book of 5 Rings. Do nothing which is of no use. When your life feels crowded, that line stops sounding strict and starts sounding protective. Picture Edo after dark, lantern light on paper, a young clerk with ink on his fingers. He keeps records for a local office. He's quick, reliable, and proud of it. So the requests keep coming. A new ledger, a late errand, another favor that promises future status. Then he starts stacking his own burdens on top. Sword practice because he's afraid of being soft. Poetry because he wants to sound refined. A little trading on the side because extra coin feels like safety. He adds objects too. A lacquer box, a second writing brush, a nicer robe. Each purchase feels small, but each one claims space. After a while, the room tightens. Sleep shortens. His mind never fully shuts up. One evening, he looks down and sees 3 projects open on the floor. None finished. He's surrounded by proof that he's trying, and he still feels behind. That old room shows up today as a phone full of apps, a calendar full of blocks, a desk full of piles, and a head full of half-finished plans. Praise trains you to collect wins. Fear trains you to collect backup plans. Quitting feels like losing, and saying no feels like falling behind. So the list grows, and the quiet never arrives. In this video, you're going to write 1 Ikigai sentence, then use Danshari, refuse, discard, detach, as a 2-step filter that clears most of what doesn't serve that purpose. Around 80% of tasks, stuff, and ambitions. Ikigai is often translated as a reason for being. In plain words, it's what makes life feel worth living, a reason to get up and take part. Japan Gov's Kizuna magazine describes Ikigai as a passion that gives value and joy to life. And it can be as small as caring for a craft, a family, or a community. Keep your version simple enough to carry. 1 sentence should survive a stressful week. A strong Ikigai sentence does 3 jobs at once. It names who you're responsible for. It names what you want to build. And it names the standard you want to live by while you build it. Here are a few shapes you can borrow, then adjust until they sound like you. I live to raise steady children and be the kind of adult they can copy. My work is to make clear things that help people make better decisions, and I do it with patience. I want my body strong, so I can show up for my people, and I do it without drama. Each one creates an anchor that doesn't depend on mood. A crowded mind loves vague purpose because it lets anything count. 1 sentence forces trade-offs, and trade-offs are where calm begins. It also gives you a usable rule under pressure, the kind that can turn into an if-then plan. Psychologist Peter Gollwitzer and colleagues have shown that implementation intentions, simple if-then plans, can help people follow through by linking a cue to a chosen action ahead of time. So your sentence becomes a checkpoint. When a new request arrives, you check it before you hand over your time. Danshari is a modern Japanese decluttering method associated with author Hideko Yamashita. The word points to 3 moves. Dan means refuse. So less clutter enters in the first place. Sha means discard, so what you don't use stops living in your space. Re means detach, so you stop needing things to feel secure. It can look like cleaning from the outside, but the deeper point is decision-making. The order matters. Refuse first, so the pile stops growing. Discard next, so you recover space and attention. Detach last, so the same cravings don't rebuild the mess. Here's how the filter works in real time. Hold your Ikigai sentence in your mind, then run Danshari in order. When a task, goal, or purchase shows up, ask one question. Does this serve my Ikigai sentence in the next season of my life? When it doesn't, you use Dan. You refuse it. You decline, delay, or delete it. And you do it without turning it into a court case in your head. When it used to serve you but has turned into dead weight, you use Sha. You close the tab. You end the subscription. You remove the item from your space. Re is the hardest part because it lives under the surface. It's the project you keep because it makes you feel ambitious. The item you keep because it makes you feel like your future self. And the side hustle you keep because it makes you feel safe, even while it drains you. Detaching is quiet because it happens inside you before it shows up in your calendar. You name what you were really buying with that commitment: status, control, comfort. And you let that craving pass without feeding it. Picture a normal week. Your phone buzzes. A friend pitches a new business idea. A course sale pops up. A relative asks for help with paperwork. Your actual work is waiting, and your body's running on fumes. Without a filter, you say maybe to all of it, and the week turns into a stack of half promises. With the filter, you start with your sentence. Maybe it's, I live to build stable work, protect my health, and be present for my family. The business idea sounds exciting, but it steals evenings and weekends. So you refuse it with Dan. You keep it clean. I can't take on something new this month. The course sale looks like progress, but you already have unfinished courses, so you discard the urge with Sha. You close it and return to the one skill you already chose. The paperwork request is real family service, so you say yes, and you set a boundary. 1 hour, then stop. Later, you look at your own calendar and notice meetings that exist only because you never removed them. You cancel them, and you feel the relief immediately. Re shows up at night when the house is quiet. Job boards at midnight feel responsible, but the engine is anxiety. So you detach from the loop. After 9 p.m., no browsing. When fear shows up, you write one honest line in a notebook, and you sleep. The same filter works on objects. Visual clutter can keep your nervous system on edge because your brain keeps scanning unfinished business. In one study that used home tours and saliva samples, wives whose home descriptions scored as more stressful had flatter daily slopes of cortisol, a pattern researchers link with worse health outcomes. So treat your space as part of your mental diet. Your Ikigai sentence tells you what kind of life you're building. Dan means you stop bringing in items that don't support that life. Sha means you remove what keeps stealing your attention. Re means you let go of the fantasy version of you that needed those objects to feel real. A simple start is one surface. Pick the desk, the kitchen counter, or the chair where clothing piles up. For 1 week, refuse new items there, discard what doesn't belong, and detach from the story that says you might need it someday. This only works when you use it under pressure. And that's where habit beats intention. In a well-known habit study, researchers found that automaticity can take a long time to build, with a median around 66 days and wide variation. So set this up as a small daily rep, not a giant weekend cleanse. Once a day, run down on one incoming thing, a request, a purchase urge, or a new idea, and practice refusing it cleanly. Later in the day, run sharp by discarding one small piece, an email, an item, or a commitment that's pulling you away from the life you chose. Once a week, run by asking where you're still chasing an identity and paying for it with your peace. For that exhausted Edo clerk, the cure was an anchor sentence and a gate. Write your Ikigai sentence so you remember what you live for. Then practice Danshari. Refuse what doesn't belong, discard what's dead weight, and detach from the cravings that keep you busy and unsatisfied. Life gets lighter when your yes becomes rare. That's the Budoway.